Try this again. Try this again. Sorry about that, guys. That's how life always is. I'm sure you guys could relate. The second you may fall asleep, a phone rings. The second you may go live, the door. That's how life is, right? And I think I'm not live. Back for now. Sorry about that, guys. So back to our conversation. My intent when I first started my like this is my backup channel. My intent when for reality not fiction was kind of like to do a mixture of things. In life you're supposed to always do, um, you know, well, unfortunately everyone can't do what they love in life. Obviously, everybody has to work, but if you do something you love, they don't call it work. And teachers, nurses, they take pride in their job. So what I'm getting at, reality not fiction, it was going to be a mixture of things. And then I'm into politics. I've always been in politics since high school. Before high school, actually, middle school, which I knew, from listening to my parents. But high school, I actually, watched. When I say into politics, not like I am now, of course, but I was aware. Like I could tell you, like if you would ask me questions, unlike these college kids today, they don't even know who like the vice president is. Um, but anyway, I have so much space footage, and I really think it will be a shame not to share it. Um, Again, I do not believe anything that comes out of NASA, anything that comes out of NASA's mouth. Um, every single picture that I'm going to be uploading on this platform, and the previous video was the moon simulator, um, which I called it. I'm still shadow banned. I'm on my own page. I can't find myself right this second. The profile picture to this video, I took that about 2 weeks ago. I was walking. It was around midnight, and same with anything. Like when you're driving, when you get that something, or if you see a group of people, you know, everyone can't relate to that, but a lot of people can. And I looked up exactly at the right time, and clouds, clouds, clouds. So I pulled my phone out. I just hit recorded or recorded. I just hit record, and a now everyone's going to call me he's Illuminati. Um, that picture though, that's the profile picture for this video. That's a craft, and it was gigantic. And I mean, I did a lot of work on that video, like taking out the color. It blocked out the whole entire. Again, it was a super cloudy day or night, and then again, as I was filming, this triangle craft appeared. No noise, nothing. Um, and again, I'm fascinated with that kind of stuff. We've been lied to about everything. Hey, Renee, Princess. we had again, to be on record, I am not a flat earther, but I am not a ball earther. If you were to ask me, I would say I'm 85% sure it may be flat. That sounds crazy. 85% sure. You just like anything, guys, you have to go down that rabbit hole. You can't just watch one video, because there is uh, the Flat Earth Society. Absolutely crazy. And it's a shame, but I could give you a list of people who, I mean, not just speaking, they're showing you evidence. They're doing studies. They fly on an airplane with infrared, and they're seeing the longest video. I think it's 1,200 miles from an airplane with infrared camera. Now, according to this ball, that's impossible. And you have to, like, I have a telescope, and you have to think, guys. If you go to Google right now and type in anything, Mars or something you can see, the moon. Well, the moon's easy, but like Mars, Saturn, like when I look at it with my eye, it's nothing like what NASA shows me. NASA. And also the whole, like, science, it's a religion in 2019. Science, it's a religion. Science is supposed to be, if I could prove something mathematically, and then years later somebody comes down and they proved me wrong, you know, and then my idea gets scratched, and now we go with that one. And then years later, someone else. That's how science is supposed to work. Science is the religion right now, and science, it's like a cult. You're all red pilled. And why do you think they're going to start? There's certain channels that are strictly FE channels. And that video I made yesterday, they're going to start cracking down on FE channels. That blew my mind. Once I saw that, I was like, and that's just more, just more fuel for this fire. Technology that we use today is very, very old. Yeah, we have a phone, all this stuff. Everything for the civilian use right now was at one time military. This is a different podcast. This is a space, Mike Lee Highwood, not politics. Um, so Werner von Braun, he came over, or we scooped him up in World War II. Super brilliant individual, but I mean, he was a SS. I mean, you could be super intelligent and still be a bad person, right? I'm not saying he's a Superman, but he created a V2 rocket. Um, and in 4 October of 1957, that was the first time. Think about that. 1957, my grandmother, some of your parents, probably. 1957, that was the first time America captured a picture of Earth from, it was like, I don't know off the top of my head. Let's see. Yeah, 4 October 1957. And the whole FE movement has only been around for 2 years. 2 years, and look how, because since everybody's awake, they look, what's up, Frog? Darlene, they look into stuff. As I said in my first podcast before I had somebody was at my door, Um, the first full picture, allegedly, from space, 7 December 1972. 1972, the Blue Marble. 1972. With today's technology, why don't we have a camera on the moon? Guys, this is my house. I lose service in my house. Again, I don't want to, we could start talking about different things, but this is it's just, I just want people to be open-minded with this topic. And um, because a lot of people who are FE people, they don't believe in aliens, and I do. So that's where it's kind of weird for myself, because um, some of the pictures, guys, that my previous video, like, what are they? Entities? I mean, they could be from here on Earth. They could live in Antarctica. So, but um, if Antarctica is a ball, just like that right there where my thumb is, if it is a ball, it's larger than the United States of America, and you can't go there. Correct? You can go there for about $40,000 on a ship, and you just the tip off of Chile, just the tip. Then the North Pole is very secretive. For, the North Pole, there's no satellites. And this makes me wonder about things. And again, pictures that I've captured, not some person with CGI. Like, these are real pictures. Uh, all right, Lee, thank you, Sheila. And Sheila, I do too. And there are enough whistleblowers out there, from Eisenhower, Eisenhower's granddaughter, um, Laura. She's real big with that. Allegedly, our president Eisenhower, he signed a treaty with the alien with ETs. I don't know where you guys are. Again, we're all open minded here, but I don't know how much of this Um, how about like the bloodlines, like the Catholic Church? The cabal, USA for muscle, the UK for uh, intelligence, and Rome. They're all connected. Frog, after Buzz told it, when he was speaking to that little girl, I think his consciousness, he just couldn't, even though he's a Mason and high up Mason, I think that little girl, something got to him. He couldn't lie to her, or he might have been drunk. And just like chemtrails, right? We call them chemtrails because they've been spraying us not for years. We've known it's a fact. It's on their website. It's a fact. Um, but we've been getting sprayed like rats for decades, and there's multiple names. Like, if you look up chemtrail, it's fake. They say stratosphere aerosol injection, SAIs, geoengineering, sounding rockets. They do that to make it very confusing. So you can't just look up one thing and know that we're being sprayed with pollutants, and Morgellons disease, all these Guys, we're breathing in metals. Every living thing, we're breathing in metals. Michael Iowa, paradise was said to be populated by many. It's funny. I've, I know. Regardless of what you want to say about paradise, I think anybody who is open minded could look at that fire and scratch your head. Looks like a knife through butter. Trees are green. I mean, a whole neighborhood's on fire. Trees are green, but exactly what Mike Lee Hollywood said. I did hear that from a couple, from numerous sources. Um, Again, numerous sources. And apparently, like I said, I don't know if you guys know Elizabeth April, but I did a podcast, and a lot of you guys said you guys would love to have her on. Um, and many people have different, yeah, fallen angels, aka Darlene says reptilians, aliens, shapeshifters. Correct. I agree 100%. They are all connected. My opinion. Who's doing it? Her name's Elizabeth April. She's from Canada, but she lives here in America now. She's that's her thing. She was on like multiple TV shows. She's writing a couple books out now. She's younger than I am. She's like 4 or 5 years younger than myself. Um, Miss Q, Miss Libby Durance, and just like I'm sure with my channel, everybody, I don't expect everybody to believe everything. Not that I'm putting out this information, but you might not be on that level yet. Um, like with Miss April with her channel, you guys could probably relate to some of the content, and then some you might be on the fence with. But High Shan says Trump said he will ban chemtrails and clean up the water. This is where, guys, where the whole ET thing comes in. It sounds nuts. This is out of Trump's hands, I feel. Yeah, we do have. I spoke to a couple pilots. I'm not going to get too deep into that right in a second. Not regular pilots, a chemtrail pilot. In order to fly Air Force One, um, they just don't pick anybody, obviously, right? To be a chemtrail pilot, they just don't pick anybody. Every chemtrail pilot has a family. They do this on purpose. Like me, I'm single. I would say, I mean, yeah, I do have family members that somebody could attack, but like I don't have kids, I don't have a wife, so and I don't work for any organization where when you work, if you work for the government, your lips are you can't speak. And anyway, there's other entities out there that are spraying us. Miss Liberty, Hollow Earth, and that, guys, if you do your homework, look into it. There are numerous people out there like whistleblowers with credentials that worked for NASA. There's a guy who worked for NASA who his job was to go to Antarctica and map it. People think we have satellites that are up there. We do have satellites, but they're held by balloons. They're not up there. like space, all the space junk, that's all fake, guys. Hate to break it to the NASA people. You can believe whatever you like. I'm just giving you my opinion, and I went down this rabbit hole deep. Sheila says, "Do you believe in tunnels?" Do I believe in tunnels? Allegedly, there's tunnels everywhere, everywhere in around the world, right? And when I say round, just something can be round, but it could be flat. So when I say round, it doesn't have to be a circle. Um, there are tunnels everywhere, Sheila, everywhere. There's just a documentary um, recently. Two Navy SEALs, they had to go to Antarctica. 2 miles down, deep beneath the ice, they found a oasis with, again, it's super cold at that location. All of Antarctica, guys, you could watch it. Real footage from Antarctica from Richard Admiral Byrd. There's parts that are green and warm oasis, but there's no modern day footage of that. But there's older footage. You Google Earth is that's all fake. Not everything on it, obviously. You could zoom in on your house, but as far as different distance, the altitude, that's all fake. And and you have to look at how planes travel. Like there's a flight from Japan to LA, right? Japan to LA. And on that ball, you just cross the ocean. Halfway through the flight, a woman gave birth. There are hundreds of these scenarios that I could give you. This is just one recent one. During the flight, a woman gave birth. They made an emergency stop. Guess where? Hawaii? Nope. Antarctica. Alaska. This is on mainstream news. Sheila, on a knowledge, yeah, I know. I've known Dr. Greer for a while. Darlene says there are metals in the chemtrails that are receptors. I know. Just like Morgellons disease, right? Every single person watching right now, you're infected by it. Not to scare you, you're infected. We all have different blood types, right? It affects, when I say affects, I'm talking about showing symptoms on certain people, where some people, just like how some people get sick a lot during the year, just say 3 or 4 times a year. Other people, they have a higher immune system. They might get sick every 5 years. But every single person, we're all infected with this shit. I've done that flight from Japan. Hi San says, check out Barry King, UK Secret Military, Italian base called the documentary. That's one I have not seen. I will definitely check it out. Barry King, UK Secret. That's one I have not heard of, and I've probably watched. I thought I watched a lot. That's why you're constantly every day. There's new stuff out to learn. Jeremiah, the old world before the flood. Yeah, guys. How about like altitude? Like, I'm. This is a fact. There is something up there. Is it a liquid? Like I don't think there's a wall up there, and I do think that the elites do have technology now. Back then, guys, like during Operation Fishbowl, Operation High Jump, like this was to calculate um, the quote unquote dome, because it's obviously depending upon you where you are on a plane, it's higher at certain, um, and just the way the world, we lucked out as far as America being above the equator, UK above the equator, because once you get south, um, that's when it starts getting pretty weird. There's no flights that fly over Antarctica. You can't go um, from Cape Town, South Africa, to Chile. You can, but you're going to probably go to the UAE first, like a V shaped. It's very interesting, and it's weird. It's 2019, and just saying. What if it was flat? I know the reason why they don't come out with it, because if it's flat, that means that um, there's most likely a dome on top. And I believe in a creator, but I do believe in aliens. So I feel like a alien race made us. This could get deep, and everything's suppressed. If somebody finds something, military comes in. Military comes in. Tunnels, yeah, the pyramids. What you guys are saying? Yeah, military comes in, and under like allegedly every pyramid, under it's not just the outside structure, the inside, everything's suppressed. This like the type of person I am, this just makes me want to like dig deeper and deeper and deeper. Who's watching right now believes that humans ever landed on the moon? Any Either any of the Apollo or the Chinese last couple weeks ago. Do you guys think anybody went on the moon? High sands, pyramids, yeah, pyramids in Antarctica. Jeremiah, there were giants recently, a couple years ago, in Afghanistan. Again, I'm not a Bible guy, but no, Antarctica doesn't exist. Antarctica does exist, even if it is a circle, but it may not be. Big East says Antarctica doesn't exist. It's a circle around flat Earth, the globe map, and Google tells you that. Correct. And for you guys just joining, I'm not 100% a FE person, but I'm like 85% that it's flat. Guys, you don't need to tell. You get a camera. Get a P900. Well, the newest one, a P1000. You could zoom in better than most good telescopes from a camera. And at the same time, though, there are triangles that are all over the moon. So again, for somebody like me who um, I go by evidence, it's most flat. If somebody is a flat Earth, there's no aliens. There's no space. They don't believe in space. They don't believe in any of that. Where I do, I believe there's something out there. But if you find somebody who's like a FE person, they say no space, no aliens. But um, there's just too much. There's way, 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 way too much evidence about ETs, and and all the different phenomena that's been happening. And over the past few years, um, I mean, 2.5 years ago, I could have probably asked 10 people that I know, right? Not in a million years. No, definitely no aliens, no ETs. But something is happening. I mean, besides the Great Awakening, guys, with it's good versus bad, good versus bad on this world that we live on, from politics to anything. It's a war, good versus bad, dark versus the light. William Tompkins. Hi, Sands. I do know William Tompkins. A lot of it. I've seen all of his stuff. Isn't it crazy that like some of these individuals who like Project Camelot, she has a great channel. Um, like all of these people who are like on their deathbed, they take it with them to their deathbed. Like if I know something for to make, you know, like Bob Lazar, I feel he did the right thing. There are some things that do need to be national security, and everything can't be open. I'm on that. I agree with that 100%. Some things do have to be secret, but there's too much secret societies and all this bullshit going on. Um, yeah, the Bible is so washed down, um, but apparently flat Earth is in the Bible, not now. And Frog, for instance, I'll never forget this because I was in total uh, uh, 21 October, 21 October. I'm sorry, 21 August, 21 August, 2018 during the eclipse. Frog, clear skies, right? Where was the moon? And that's the whole nother thing. Like even a couple weeks ago, we had that wolf moon. Like, this doesn't add up. If this is the sun, you'll think you'll see like the moon, and then they cross, right? No, you don't see anything. You do see the eclipse, but you don't see the moon. This could get real. I mean, this is like it's really deep because people, Operation Dominic. And one thing about the military, they just don't have a hat and pick out a name for an op. You know, the name of the op goes kind of with the MO. Operation Iraqi Freedom. I mean, you would think if you fly an airplane, I'm not talking about a regular airplane. Like take like the SR-71 Blackbird, the fastest plane on, it could go Mach 3. Average speed about Mach 2.3, but Mach 3. At these speeds, the pilot he would be he would have he couldn't go straight. But yet, and again, then if if it is flat, is it does it look like this but just flat like the AE map, or is there a ring around it, and then there's other maps like ancient maps from like East Asia that show other land beyond Antarctica, and then back to Richard Admiral Byrd, he mentioned uh, that there's land on the other side of the South Pole. His words, not mine. It's just crazy in 2019 that this is like a topic. That's how much we've been lied to. And then like it's just like saying, for the people who are non-believers, um, I'm telling you this from a personal experience, from like for not technology contact. I'm talking man to man or woman to woman contact. Oh, what do the aliens look like? How big are they? It's just like if I asked you, what's a human? What's a human? I'm 6'5", 240. You know, go to Asia, and I'll be like a celebrity. Seriously, they take pictures of tall people like crazy over there. So, they're like, yeah, the Greys. A lot of people say the Greys are. Look at our AI and our robots, and I'm going to be making a video on that too. A lot of people say the AI, um, or for being prepped, they will be here by 2030. I believe Phil Snyder. Phil Snyder. Frog says we may not be human. I don't think we are. In a way, meaning we are the latest experiment of their, we did not, my theory, we did not come from apes. We did not come from apes. Or, if we came from evolution, why are there still apes? And then this goes back to them spraying. It's proven, that they're changing our DNA. Look at today's society. We got LBGTBQR. We got more gay people coming out like ever before. More lesbians than ever before. This is not just what's in our food. Like seriously, I'm I'm a millennial, but like I've never seen so many gay people, and it's not just because Obama was all about it, but again, guys, it's in our food, our water. But if I don't know if you guys know, like the estrogen for like the estrogen the estrogen in the males today. Like if you walk into any high school, there are so many feminine. They might not even be gay. They might just be feminine. Like I'm old. I'm old school, the way I was raised. So like I feel like it has to do with how you're raised, but I'm also with being awake. I know what they're doing to us. So I blame a lot on the parents, but I also blame a lot on what, again, I feel, we are probably a experiment. And the the military industrial complex, they're 100 years ahead of us. Just look at Nikola Tesla, guys. That one guy, that one guy who was raided not by President Trump's uncle. He was raided by the feds, but his uncle was a very intelligent guy, so he apparently went in and received like this is a guy who had free energy, who you know we look at the Tesla vehicles today, and they're amazing. I never would have thought I would say that about a electric car, because um, when people mostly think of electric, they think of like a Prius, and one, I think of a liberal driving it, and two, they look like they're ugly looking. But the new Teslas, they're amazing. And Elon, he's everyone says he's the alien, and I don't know. He's like a Tesla, kind of like a Tesla of our time. But Norlace, he says if you can't beat him, you have to join him. And Sheila says there's estrogen added to milk. We're not made. Listen, I'm not here to give any uh, dietary um, diet tips. The human, we're not made to drink milk. Period. As a baby, yes. From your mother, yes. But once you're done, that's it. We're the only animals that drink other animals' milk. That we're not made for milk. I don't drink milk. Period. I haven't drank milk since I was a kid. And I eat everything and I drink everything. When I say everything, meaning I have a pretty clean diet, but I do not drink milk. Milk is for baby cows. Correct. That's what it's for, cows. I'm in nuts. I'm in the nuts club too. Tesla was amazing. We would, but it goes back. Listen, I used to have a business. I used to be like I used to have a landscaping company. Um, Tesla died poor, but here's the thing: like when you have a patent, and once the government sees this shit, they're like, "Ooh, give you the money." You're like, "Where's it at?" And then they use it. That's why they're 100 years ahead of us. iPads. I. It looks like it's cracked, but it's a screen. iPads, right? Bob Lazar. You guys all know Bob Lazar. He spoke about iPads at Area uh, S4. But look, you guys are talking about giants. There were giant. This is a true story. It was on Coast to Coast AM, and look it up. We had Marines. Marines are everywhere. We had it was Navy SEALs by themselves. They were called to a location in Afghanistan, and then they needed reinforcements. So they called Marines. There was a giant in a cave. This guy was so big, so strong. He killed a couple soldiers. Yeah, and he didn't have a gun, and he smelled so bad that he was flown in on the C-130. This is like the past 8 years, past 5 years. And then again, makes you think, why did we really go to war? People say, for one world order, but I feel it's a mixture of things. Like the Middle East has so much history, in so much history. Frog says, you said you're doing it. No, yeah, I am doing a AI video. I made because at my at my old job, um, when I did Intel, um, the tools that I had, um, it was Google Earth, but real time, kind of like what they have in like DC, but on a much smaller scale, of course. Like the shot spotters. There's some things that are open source, and there are some things uh, that I can't speak of. Um, I mean, technology that I never even imagined. It more it takes more to work in the talk than it was to become a police officer. To become a police officer, cops come, they knock on neighbors, to see how you are. They, uh, it's called IA, internal affairs, and they come out, they speak to your neighbors, they check up on stuff. Um, and this job, it was higher than being a police officer. That's how big. That's how big. Big. That's how big, Frog, this giant was in Afghanistan. Too big for any helicopter. They brought him in. They brought him in on a C-130, and they flew him right to Ohio. Katie, Katie, you and me both. Katie said the more you find out, the more you want to disconnect from technology. Seriously, and I do. Like, if I go out, I try to. That was my New Year's resolution, to not always have this device on me. It's a tracking device, period. But if I am out in the woods, just to be out there, to get away from it. And nanotech is new to we think it's new, but it's been around for a very, very long time. There's multiple documentaries on that. RFID chips, and that's the main thing, guys. It's all about control. Once something happened with 5G, 5G was rolling, and then it came to a halt. Even out here in the suburbs, there's 5G, but it's not connected. So something happened with 5G. I don't. It could be from the top that said stop something, but they were really. It's in like the larger cities like Philadelphia, New York, but it's not like old school, guys. Like, even with camera systems, like, the more the better. Like China, you guys are aware, like with China, right? How they have a actual credit score. Like if you jaywalk, and it sounds funny. Like when I first found out about it, I was talking to some people, and they were like laughing about it. But it's it's not beta anymore, and now it's affecting the Chinese citizens. They can't buy a house. They can't take money out. They can't travel. A social credit score. 5G, Sheila says, is not good for our health. Correct. 2G, 3G, we're using 4G right now. But it takes years, guys, to get any type of feedback. Like, we're just getting medical feedback from 2G. Now they tell you not to let if you have kids, what's up? Speaking of kid, what's up, kid? They, if you have a young children, like under the age of 5, they tell, not to use a cell phone because of the radiation. You know, even like adults, they say use Bluetooth or speakerphone. But this data is from 2G, 5G. That's a different level. Smart dust. How about smart dust? You guys familiar with Smart Dust? Who said Flower Girl 342? It's not that great. Lots of bugs flying around eating you up. Florida Girl. I was in the woods today, and there were a shit load of bugs out. Shitload of bugs. Flying bugs. I don't know what the hell happened. Again, I'm not. It was the weirdest thing. These are they kind of look like mosquitoes, but they were everywhere in the woods. Oh, speaking of high sciences, 5G, chemtrails, CERN, all connected, 100%. And a lot like reality. I love that word. A lot of people feel that CERN brought in these entities. I don't know how you guys feel about CERN, but apparently they want to build one that's twice its size because China has just built one twice its size. And if you're scared about the deep state, or nobody here is scared of the deep state, but if you're concerned about the deep state and that the war that we're in, good versus evil, it's not the Chinese people, it's their government. You know, you can't say shit. Kind of like what's happening now to the MAGA kids, right? Just for supporting your president, you get kicked out of a gym. Unbelievable. This is how this it's in China. You say anything bad about Xi, you're going to a re-education camp. I live free or die. I don't give advice over the internet, and I don't want to know what everybody has or what they do or how they prep or how many of these do you have. But I live free or I die. I don't live partial free. I live free to the Constitution or I'm dead. Jeremiah, Tesla said he would channel spirits from information. You guys know, speaking about Tesla, Nikola Tesla, he contacted a ET race. This isn't like speculation or a theory. He contacted, and I don't know if you guys heard of the Black Knight satellite. There's a satellite that orbits Earth, and it we don't know that much about it. Speak like our aerospace agencies, but apparently Nikola Tesla, he contacted ETs. This guy is amazing, and he died broke. Again, money's not everything, but it's sad that they took that technology and like electricity. Like, who would have thought you had to pay for water? Just disgusting, but the good. Trust me, I made a video, guys. Probably 2 months ago. I made a video on my main channel, and I don't put dates on any of my content. I don't say this June. I don't put any dates on any of my content. But I said 2019 is going to be a year for the record books. Good, good, and bad. Good and bad. We're starting to see some of the bad, but when I say bad, it's going to make the Great Depression look like a burp. I'm serious. It's going to make the Great Depression look like a burp. That's why again, everybody's good at something. Somebody's good at cooking. Somebody's good with outdoors. Somebody's good. So if you're not networking now with your neighbors, with family members, and you don't have to be like go crazy with it. Every time you go to a store, 99 cents. Every time you go to some people go grocery shopping once a week, twice a week, depending upon how big your family is. Buy two of them, put it in your basement, a dark spot. Next thing you know, it adds up. Tiffany, I tried to email you pics, but you can't seem to get it. Can't get it through. It wouldn't send, Tiffany? What happens when you guys try to email me? Seeds. Flower girl. Seeds. Listen, because they are spraying us so much, organic seeds will not work. They're dying now, but I'm speaking in the times to come. Um, you guys heard of GMOs and genetically modified stuff. So they're making the seeds that are pretty much like super seeds. They grow quicker. They could adapt to any type of climate, unlike natural seeds. So, and the rate that we're going now, um, I like growing my own food. Like in the summertime, I can't do it all year round here in the Northeast, but there will be a time where you will not be able to have a garden outside due to the extreme heat. Look at all the changes now. I mean, I can make a channel strictly every single day, not like a weather report, but sinkholes, hailstorms, massive flooding in the Middle East. This is a everyday occurrence around the world, like crazy. Africa is splitting into two right this second. Kids, organic seeds. And Flower Girl, you will have to grow it. I mean, you will have to start, unfortunately, to do it inside. I'm all about like natural stuff, but again, you got to do what you have to do, right? Even I'm all for marijuana. I do not smoke. Um, I mean, I much rather have somebody, it's a plant, than do hard drugs for pain, for anything. And with it being legal in half the country, medical, most of it, it's not naturally grown. It's grown in labs, but and also I said this once, I say it again. Alcohol. You may not smoke, you may not drink, but when shit, I'm not saying if, when something, and again, it could be 10, 5, 10, 2 years, 6 months, it could be tomorrow. When that time comes, think about right now if the lights went out, not just this stream, but where you're driving, where you're sitting, if you're at work, if you're with your family, wherever you're watching me right now. Then you go outside, and now your neighbors are outside. Now it's not just affecting you. You pick up your phone, nothing works. In reality, I don't. You guys don't need to tell me, but like, do you know how to start a fire? Do you have a fireplace? Have you ever cooked on a fireplace? And that's just one part. That's why I'm all about the Second Amendment. I am all about the Second Amendment. I'm all about the Constitution. But you could be the best prepper, the best person outdoors. But if you're not a Second Amendment person, somebody who is can easily take, and they're skilled, can easily take your goods. High sands, back to the Stone Age like that. No vehicles, no vehicles. Yeah, it's not just, luxury stuff, I guess we could call it. I mean, I know a lot of people do work, uh, you know, even like high school kids, they're given now laptops for school, right? But if a EMP happened, like what happened in New York City a couple weeks ago, that blue light, that was not a generator. I've seen generators blow in person. That was not a generator. There was a generator that the fake stream showed, but the whole entire New York City was blue, and at the same time in Louisiana, the same thing happened. Coincidence? There's no coincidence. Oh, dear me. Darlene says, God, guts, and guns. Amen. I love that. That's a good song. I don't like country music, but that song, I like Aaron Lewis. Country Man Can Survive. I love the suburbs. Like in my 20s, I used to like visiting the city. It's a different world. It's like a different entity. But again, the more awake you are, and with 5G and like no privacy and everything concrete, like I told you, I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not all about like verses and stuff, but just when you're in the woods, I feel like a connection. It's Jeremiah. Yeah, well, guys, blah, 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 blah. Back to my email. I'm reading comments. Tiffany just said, I have a backup email, but what happened when he tried sending me stuff? Georgia in the house. How are you? Think about just think about these things. Cell phones. Think about how addicted. I mean, some of you guys might be addicted to your cell phone. You can't. You walk by a restaurant if you're in a city, everyone's looking down. There's no more like couples like just out walking with their kids. Somebody is on a device. At the same, these are probably one of the best technologies ever made. But at the same time, I feel not only me, guys. Listen, the creator of Facebook, or not the creator, um, not to create the people who helped Facebook and all these other apps, they they regret doing it. They don't let their kids use it, and they say, out of again all the individuals, half use it because they have to with business when they have to, and the other half totally are off grid, no electronics. And these are people who made it. That should wake every single person watching this up. TV, also TV, mind control, not me. Look it up. It's the patents are there. I'm sure if a woman's a lot of women watching right now, your husband, when he watches football, he's like a zombie. TV's meant mind control. Darlene, I love the videos where people walk in the water, etc., because their face is glued. Do not only walk in the water, people die. People die, Darlene. People with either one, they get hit by a vehicle, or two, they got to get that picture hanging off of a cliff, hanging off of a building to get a good picture. Unbelievable. We laugh, but it happens. Not only to take pictures, otherwise be present with yours. Frog. Sheila, almost all of them. The first one being Facebook. And that's a fact. I miss the MySpace days. Guys, I've been preaching this for so long, and everybody, even with the Alexas, with these little devices people have, you can't, Americans are so fat, brainwashed, they can't get up and flick a light switch. They have to speak to something. Drives me nuts. They record 24/7. 24/7. And it's not about being worried, like, oh, you're fear, like, no. If I'm when I'm in my house, if I if I'm not speaking to you guys, no one's going to see me. And the thing is, but listen, back to what I'm getting at. Now it's reality. Look, who they just scoop up to yesterday, the day before? Roger Stone. Who before that? Everyone who surrounded themselves with Donald Trump. And what are they? What are the charges? Just because they couldn't remember, but they pull your file up, and everything, every word you typed, every email, every text message, every picture, and that's why I'm so against it, because we're seeing it now and it's happening. And just because a law is legal now, what's going, God forbid, not God forbid, uh, you know, Trump can't be president forever. So just say we get a somebody like Nancy Pelosi in the House and she bans assault weapons. Nobody's going to take my, I'm not going to go that far, but um, she did it before during the Clintons, and statistically, it showed the crime rate went up. The only way to stop a bad guy with a weapon is with a good guy with a weapon. Sometimes, you might, like, even shooting for safety. Sometimes you always hear on the news or top story, unarmed person shot. That doesn't mean anything. Again, I'm 6'5", 240 pounds, and I can fight and wrestle. So now, if I was a thug and going against a female officer who was 5'2", 120 pounds with all that gear on, I'll throw her around with one hand. And just she's allowed to shoot me. That's how it is. And I don't have a weapon. My body, because but it's fully justified. She could shoot me. I just want everyone to be prepared, guys. Honestly, this isn't. I'm demonetized. I'm demonetized. Even if I did receive money from YouTube, I'm not a fear porn guy. That's not me. Um, and we've been so fortunate to live in this great country, and it can't happen here. It can't happen here. It can't happen. It can happen here. It is starting to happen here. That's all. Just when you guys do network and don't tell everybody what you have. Frog says, before you hit send, it's saved. I'll check it out. I'm about to get off. I'll check it out because I did receive a couple. Why would Satan give man harmless technology? And why would Satan give man harmless technology? Swamp says Swamp cut out TV since Thanksgiving. I, I never would have thought I would be talking like this, because when you're a sheep, I was never a sheep. Um, I was a sleep. Sheep meaning do what they say, and that's I was never like that, but I was asleep. Um, and everything's smart now. Everything. They're making smart cities. Who's going to be the first to sign up for that one? Where they don't want people to drive, even with Uber and stuff. They have, in the next probably 3 years, you want to get picked up with an Uber, it's going to be a driverless car. In about in probably about 4 years. I am ready. I am. I really am. I'm good. I am. I don't want to, obviously. You know, it's great being here. But of course, you thought about that. Uh Heaven's love, and if it happened right this second, I'm body, mind, I'm ready. 100%. And I know a lot of people who are not. But I've actually been. And people always say, "Can't save the world. Can't save the world." Just be prepared, the best you can. Everybody's on a different budget. Um, but back to the Second Amendment, you can't just have them and not use them. You have to train with them. It's easy to pull a trigger. Take classes. Take more classes. It's a lot easier, guys, in a grid down situation for myself and a couple buddies with firearms to go around and take your stuff. To take your stuff that you work so hard prepping for due to our training ability. I'm not saying that, I'm just giving you an example. You could have all the food, all the water, but you don't have the power to have 24/7 surveillance. So a lot of people don't, that whole show, Doomsday Preppers. Um, I could take any of their stuff. Any person on that show, I could take their stuff. And be ready, because people, what will, not what will, what wouldn't you do in a grid down, I'm not talking about a one day, a snowstorm, no lights. What wouldn't you do to give your children food and safety? I mean, we say that now, right? Like even with protection, if we're out, we defend. And as a male, I defend everybody. I even defend other males. I'm an alpha male, but not like Gillette. I look out for women. I hold the door for women. I protect our young. I protect the innocent. Just, I just, they're really cracking down with certain things and certain. I don't want to get it too long. I'm going to end it soon. But new laws are coming, guys, in certain states, and they're not good. They're not good. Miss Liberty, don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Roger that. Correct. 100%, Darlene. That's a good one because I haven't said that in a very long time. Yeah, never have one spot where all your goodies are. All right, guys, Patriots, I am out. It's it's been a pleasure. Been a pleasure. I can't even speak. It's been a pleasure. Thank you as always. And Frog, Jerry, Illinois is trying to pass, and that's what I'm speaking about, Darlene. I live in Jersey, and Diane Feinstein, she's got some stuff coming. There's a lot going on in Darlene, what you just spoke of. So, um, but it's up to you. It's up to you guys. Live, live free or die. I don't care what the law is. Well, I'm a law-abiding citizen, um, but I'm free, and that's all I got to say about that. All right, guys, I'm out. It's been a pleasure. You guys are great, Princess. Thank you, Jerry. God bless. God bless, guys. Again, going to be a rough road. It will, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. All right. See you, Patriots.